Battle of Fredericksburg happened the same year as the Battle of Antietam, which was General Lee's first attempt to invade the Union. Both sides stood ground stubbornly until General Lee decided to retreat. This gave Lincoln an opportunity he had been waiting for, and he scheduled an attack against Fredericksburg. He ordered General McClellan to start a trip to Fredericksburg right away and come up with an attack plan. Lincoln decided McClellan was taking too long to come up with a plan and attack Fredericksburg, so he replaced him with General Burnside, who came up with a plan very quickly. Ambrose Burnside was born on May 23, 1824. He was Lincoln's general in the Battle of Fredericksburg and some later battles of the Civil War. He participated in most major battles of the Civil War, but was not necessarily a general. After the war, he resigned his commission and still stayed an active member of the militia. He is famous for the invention of the Burnside carbine and, due to his eccentric hairstyle, for the word sideburns, which was originally Burnsides, but the syllables were switched. Burnside died on September 13, 1881.
On November 27, the pontoons reached Rappahannock River, where the Union was positioned. Burnside's Union and Halleck's staff were too poor, and Woodbury, the commander of the engineers, did not assign enough engineers at the point of embarking. This caused Burnside to be disgraced. On December 9, Burnside decided a new crossing way and announced movement order. Burnside told his officer of plan, but it was not clear enough to them, and there was some kind of confusion. This ultimately made the Union not have a strong assault plan, whereas the Confederates were prepared and had a well-coordinated defense. Throughout the evening of December 11 and December 12, troops in Fredericksburg began to sack the town. On December 12, where Burnside seized attack order, this caused Franklin, Reynolds, and Smith to make their own attack decision, where they purposely planned to assault columns on Richmond Road. This made Lee's troops delayed and have to intensify and recognize their attack plans. As Lee's troops were recognizing their tactics, Burnside announced that new attack plan. Burnside assaulted the two Grand divisions throughout Rappahannock. This ultimately caused Sumner's Grand Division to take the town of Fredericksburg from the right, and Franklin's Grand Division faced General Jackson's corps to the southeast of town. On the morning of December 14, 1862, the Federal attacked General Longstreet's Confederate on Morris Heights and Jackson to the southeast of Fredericksburg. The French Federals arrived with their attack against this war. The Confederate artillery was bombarded and arranged on the heights and were shot by the Frenchmen from behind the wall. The Federal divisions were launched to assault the Confederate positions behind the wall, but the Federals had many losses and could not reach the wall. The Federals lay dead and were wounded in the field.
The outcome of this battle was a hefty total of 17,929 casualties. The battlefield didn't progress during the battle, and the Union's defense was a huge failure. Burnside admitted his defeat and retreated back over the river. This failure of Burnside, and another one a year later, on another attempted offense, led him to be replaced by Major Joseph Hooker. This battle was useless to both sides and was a badly arbitrated decision from Burnside's part.
Battle of Fredericksburg did illustrate qualities of modern war, such that the strategies that they used were more complex than that of other wars, as well as the fact that other military systems aimed to wear down the morale of the opponent and drain their supplies. Neither army used tanks, mobile artillery pieces, rockets, or guided missiles, so all of their weapons were only effective at close range. The strategies that were used, such as when the French Federates arrived and the Confederates shot and they hid behind the wall for protection against the French, support the idea that the tactics and strategies that were being used throughout the duration of the war did illustrate qualities of modern war. One of the big tactical positions that both sides attempted to do was flank the enemy as a counter-movement to one of their movements. As well as newer tactics, this was the first urban war, which means that the combat portion of this war took place in an urban area or city. From the tactics being used of hiding behind the wall, the rest of the tactics used throughout the course of the battle were poorly conceived. For example, when General Robert E. Lee took up a strong defensive position on the south side of the Rappahannock River, he dared Burnside to take action against him. Burnside took the dare and attacked because he was eager to engage in war, but his eagerness caused his troops to be badly defeated. Because this was a civil war, the artillery used by both sides is going to be similar. For example, the use of cannons and guns. Each side had to have a vast knowledge on close-hand fighting techniques as well as good marksmanship skills. Of the two teams, the Union was the most tactically skilled. However, many casualties still occurred.
The introduction of new weapons and technology during the Civil War led to more deaths as it was easier to kill someone, and the generals had not yet experienced battlefields with weapons like this, and their strategies needed to be revised accordingly. Some of these weapons included muskets, which were smooth-bore, long-barreled shoulder arms, rifles, shoulder guns with spiral grooves cut into the inner surface of the barrel, carbines, short-barreled rifles, and handguns, including pistols and revolvers. Like artillery, small arms also were designed by their caliber, mode of loading, and maker. The principal small arms on both sides were the .58 caliber Springfield musket and the .69 caliber Harper's Ferry rifle, both muzzle-loading arms that fired the deadly mini-ball.